and there, and there. Wait, I guess I should share my screen. There. Awesome. Okay, and here we go. So if you're not muted, I ask that you please mute yourself unless you wish to speak, and then you're more than welcome to unmute and speak. But I want to say hello and welcome. We have today a very special guest, Prosperity Mortgage. We have been waiting for them, and we are so excited that they're now here in the desert. And I think we should just get started with Prosperity. They did bring some goodies for us today, so thank you so much. I appreciate it. And if you would like to actually just come here where they can see you. And there you go. There you are. And introduce yourself and your team. That'll be great.
Hi. Hey, good morning. So my name's Harris Lasky. I'm in charge of the western half of the United States for Prosperity Home Mortgage. And I'm thrilled to be here. Not just because it's...
Can't hear him, Gina.
Oh, you can't hear him?
Nope.
Yeah, he's on. Okay, let's do this.
I'm typically super loud.
Can you hear him now?
Hello?
Barely.
You want to trade with me? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Hello.
Okay, cool.
Hello. I could sing. Hello. Hello.
Sorry, a little punchy today. I know.
It takes a while to come back
I
down.
know.
It really does. Hey, real quick, before I tell you a little bit about the company, let me introduce a couple folks. John Eric Lehman.
Hi, John Eric.
So John Eric is our regional manager for the entire market here. Super excited to have him. Top producer in the market for a very long time. Great leader, and has already done a terrific job of getting us started. And he's also, quite busy already, which is fantastic. And then Winston Stevens is going to be your loan officer right here. Unfortunately, the state of California has taken their good old time with his license right now. So we're waiting for that, but it shouldn't hurt anybody. We can take referrals today. We can work business today. We have licensed people in the market. John Eric can help. We got plenty of help. So any day on his license, and then we'll throw a little mini party and welcome Winston officially at that point in time.
That'll be wonderful. We're excited to have you here. And Winston will be in our office, physically in our office, so every day. So we have our resources, and I'm super excited about that.
I am too.
Yeah.
Okay, so before I get started, I live in Atlanta, Georgia. So I am from California, but I live in Atlanta. It's a big long, it's not a great story, but no, it is a good story. Atlanta's this huge mass of people all stacked on top of each other, and it's not my favorite place that I've lived, but I'm on airplanes all the time. And so yesterday I'm flying in, and I'm sitting, and I always get an aisle seat because I'm a giant. And so I'm sitting in the aisle, and there's a lady sitting next to me, and then there's a gentleman who's back at the window. And he starts, I get on the plane, put my headphones on, pretend like I can't hear anybody, and hope nobody talks to me kind of guy. But he starts just talking and talking and talking. And he's telling this lady, he's telling her about his grandson, and it's this great story. He starts telling her, he's like, hey, so my grandson came up to me the other day, and it was really uncomfortable. And he goes, we were babysitting, and he's little, and he comes up, and he goes, Grandpa, he goes, where does poo come from? And he starts explaining to her, he's like, now I've had this conversation with my daughter, and we're supposed to be really straightforward. They're really into telling specific details and not going through all the, the gimmick stuff, but being really specific. So he said, I spent all this time, and I was talking to him, and I explained where poo came from and went through this whole thing, and said his face got kind of all weird. And then he asked, well, where does Tigger come from? So
poor poo.
Yeah.
I know.
Never.
We may never be the
That's it,
same. I'm
right.
just saying.
Yes, but you'll remember this conversation, right?
Oh,
Okay, let me tell you who we are because we are the greatest secret out there. Last year, we closed almost $17 billion and put us in the top 14 mortgage lenders in the country.
wow.
We are a big company. We close about 90% of our business purchase, and all we do is support the real estate companies that are owned by Home Services of America. That's it. We specialize in working with realtors. We don't have, storefront offices. We don't have other things. We are here. We are dedicated. What we do is support realtors and purchase business. That's it. So even when the market was crazy and there was tons of refis, at one point in time, the industry got to a place that we actually went beyond 80% refinance business in the country. And that's why you guys were selling tons of houses. That's how much refi was doing. The biggest number we ever hit was 82% purchase during that time. So that's our commitment to you, is that we're going to stay focused and help you with your business specifically. The other thing that's really important about what we do is that everything we come out with, everything we talk about, everything we put together for marketing is to help you sell more homes, because that's how we do more business. It's not the other way around. We have a saying at Prosperity: we are not entitled to your business. We're here to earn it. And I mean that wholeheartedly. Nobody here is required to use us. You're going to want to use us. We are great at what we do. And we're going to wow you. And we do it in a couple different ways. The first thing, and I think this is ultra important, is we are first and foremost committing to do what's right every time in every transaction. It means that we do some crazy stuff. And, one example, I'll just be kind of, this is a nice one, but there's all kinds of things that happen all the time in our business. But we survey every one of our clients, and we got a survey back from a client, and we got a 5 out of 5, which is for us is the best of the best. And the guy made a comment in it. He said, hey, everything went great, but I was a little disappointed because when my insurance inspector came out, he said I needed a new roof and basically created some financial trouble. So our CEO actually picked up the phone and called this client and said, hey, so what? He said, oh no, you guys were great. Everybody was perfect. He goes, as a matter of fact, I knew the inspection came in. I knew the house was going to need a new roof. I just didn't know I was going to need it now. So I had to take a little bit of money out of my 401k to put it up. And it was, I don't know, the roof was $7,500 or something. And his portion was like $4,500. Well, we turned around and cut a check for $4,500 and sent it to the client. And we look for opportunities to do what's right. And there's stories and stories about things like that. And sometimes it's really simple stuff, right? It's the, making sure that a deal closes, even though somebody, doesn't have an extra $500 to get to closing or something. Sometimes it's easy stuff, but we're not going to allow the little things get in the way of closings. Couple things, and I promised I literally, Gina and I were talking earlier, but I can talk for 3 hours. So, and I'm not going to
He's not going to, don't worry.
I promise. But if you'll allow me, I'm going to talk about a couple things, just kind of give you a little hint of who we are and what we do and how we do it and how we can support your business. And then we're just going to continue to show and implement and provide things for you over time. But here's just a couple of things that we do. And we do them kind of together. So one of the things today is we know that the biggest struggle for everybody is inventory. It's crazy across the entire country. You guys have it. It's bad. It's some of the worst in these markets, but it's bad across the entire country. We also have this surplus of buyers and buyers that are making multiple offers over and over again, and they're trying to purchase. And so, we have a specific program where we talk to clients up front. We will fully underwrite. We will fully approve a package prior to somebody even finding a property. The idea is we put out something we call Buyer's Advantage, where we give you actually a signed approval from an underwriter. Obviously, it's minus title and appraisal, the little things that you can't do without a property. But to elevate what you do and hopefully give you something as close to cash as possible on an offer. It works great. I don't know, we're probably doing 50% of our business in that space today. It also helps us big time because it allows us to close extraordinarily fast if that's what you want to do. So if we have a fully underwritten Buyer's Advantage, all we're frankly waiting on is title, insurance, and appraisal to come in and we can close. So depending, the appraisal is always the big one, right?
Mhm.
So if an appraisal comes in right away, we could probably close in 7 to 10 days, which 7 is as fast as you can do with compliance. And we do that. We also are really great at closing in 30 days. But, when we need to, we can close like that, especially with the buyer's advantage. It's free. We don't charge anybody anything. It doesn't cost our loan officer anything to do. It's an investment that we make because we know it helps you and your business. On top of that, if a client does a buyer's advantage, we do a $10,000 seller guarantee. So if we have this approval and they go out and find a property and they sign a contract, and for whatever reason, something happens that we decide that we won't fund that deal, we'll write a check to the seller for $10,000. So,
Sellers should like that.
So-
A whole
Is that
bunch.
something we can put in the contract then, or?
I mean, that's up to you guys. I don't know what the ML, the rules are in the market and all of that, but
I don't see any reason why we couldn't.
say.
I mean,
there's an
I think it's a
advantage for
huge
seller to pick
advantage.
this one.
Right. The seller, I mean, what risk is to the seller if we have there's no, and honestly, there's no risk to us. We've already fully qualified the buyer. We joke a lot that it'd be great marketing to actually miss one of these, but we've been doing this a couple of years and we've never had to pay it. Because we hit our closing dates.
Is that in your fully underwritten letter? Because we're writing a contract, and of course, contracts are between buyer and seller, so we can't promise somebody else, a third party, doing something.
Correct.
Probably in a purchase contract, but in your approval letters,
Mhm.
would it say if we don't close on time, blah blah blah, the 10,000?
There's another certificate that they give with it.
Oh, beautiful.
So we'll
So
have
that's right there.
something that's right there and they can use it.
Okay.
Yeah. So the idea is we're trying to get them as close to cash, right?
Mhm.
So, because that's what people want is cash buyers nowadays. So, in this circumstance, at least you're going to have that as far as, part of the opportunity and part of the positives that come with it. Cool.
Very cool.
So we also do a meet or beat. So, and we don't want this to be, we're something where you go out and help them shop, but we want to give you guys an opportunity. You don't know us yet. It's difficult to advocate for somebody. We're looking for an opportunity. We want to show you what we can do. And so if you have a client who's come to you that's already been pre-approved by somebody else.
Excuse me, but make sure you mute yourself if you're not muted. Thank you. Go ahead.
We will, and this gives you an opportunity without having to put your reputation on the line to say, hey, why don't you talk to my guy? He's in-house. I trust him, blah, blah, blah. Either he's going to do one or two things. One, he's either going to verify what you have is fantastic, or we're going to be able to do something better, which isn't always just rate. Sometimes it's a better program, a better situation, whatever it may be. But if we take a look at something and we can't overcome what the other person has, we give the buyer $500. We just cut them a check. There's some limitations. There's some, crazy stuff that goes on out there. We'll go through all that detail with you. But the idea here is not to dilute the revenue of the entire company. And the idea is to give you one more opportunity to be able to make a nice handoff without interfering with the process. I can imagine today in today's market, when somebody shows up, you guys got to be just so excited just to sign a contract with the number, the listings and inventory, everything out there. And we know it's difficult, and we know a referral is difficult. And especially if somebody's already got something and they say, oh, we're good, we're approved, all that kind of stuff. We want to make this process as easy as possible for you, because we know that we can develop and provide confidence to you and your buyer that you're going to close on time, and everybody's going to get paid.
So we can utilize that as a tool. Sometimes we get buyers, they want to use their own lenders, or they got some of their own relationship. We don't know who they are. They're out of the area. That can create problems.
Mhm.
So if we go to, say, a client and say, well, hey, that's great. I'm glad you have someone in place, but I'd really like you to give my guy a look at as well. And as for going through all the hassle of it, if they don't meet or beat who you're already using to give you a better opportunity, they're willing to give you $500 just for going through the process.
Just for going through the process.
Okay.
It's a matter of it's inconvenient, it's timing, it gets you guys
That's
off the hook.
First pushback. It's,
Yes.
I
I mean, essentially what we're doing is providing, an incentive for their time and for their inconvenience, right?
Mhm.
And we do write a couple of these checks occasionally out, but not many. most of the time we can usually come in and meet or beat. And especially right now, we're really trying to win the business and demonstrate to you guys what we can do and build that advocacy. You know, we're going to do what we can to obviously win those deals that are out there. I'm not going to go, I'm just going to give you just some little hairpin things, and then I'm going to let you get back to your meeting because I could talk and talk and talk. But we do some things. Our headquarters is actually in Chantilly, Virginia, which is on the right of the cusp of Washington, D.C. We are down the street from Fannie Mae. And we sit on their board. We sit on their development board. We do a lot of neat things with them. We were the first company in the country to actually start out with day one certainty. You guys remember day one certainty when it came out? Essentially, these are those tools that are out there where somebody does an application. We call it Prosperity Express. I'm sorry, we call it Accelerate, where they basically give us access and we verify things like income, assets, et cetera, electronically. So they never have to give us any documents. So as of today, we are number one in the country. About 17% of our deals are getting some sort of waiver as far as documentation goes. Now, this isn't the end of the world. I mean, clients are prepared to give documentation. This just makes it easier on everybody. And about 11% of the deals that we run through get 3, we call them green check marks, which means we get an asset waiver, an income waiver, and an employment waiver, which means ideally a client is ready. They literally just give us access. Within an hour, we know that it's approved. They don't provide any additional documentation, and they're good to go. Now, these deals, this is a Fannie Mae thing, right? So it's got to be a conforming transaction, you know, for that to be the case. But it makes things so much easier on everybody. And occasionally, we actually get an appraisal waiver too, which is really interesting. Somebody goes to buy a house.
Based on down payment?
It's based on a whole bunch of stuff. It's all kinds of weird analytics that just make my brain hurt when I start to think about it, but it works. So that's the part I like. But yeah, it's just data mining of things that are out there. And then, you know, it's interesting. Like one of the new things is they can verify income by they pull electronic bank statements. They look, they see the checks come in, they back in tax it. I mean, it's really crazy stuff. And they say, yep, you're good. Yep, you're good. And that's it. And they're ready to move forward, which is super, super cool. There are lots of things, and John Eric's going to be back. Winston's going to be back. But before I say, you know, thank you guys, anything that you have specifically for me that you would like to ask about?
You mentioned earlier.
Oops, sorry.
So, that's okay. So do you not do refis then? You're only focused?
No, we
on-
do them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, we just 100% of our time is focused on you and the business that we do. You know, so you know, even right now, probably 10% of our business is refi and 90% is purchase.
Okay. Yeah, because a lot of times our clients at some point want to do a refi. We like to send them back to.
This is the whole reason. Almost all the refis we do are former clients, and you know that's.
And then when you do a loan, do you guys keep the loan and service it, or do you sell them off?
So it's complicated. Well, no, there's something new that's out. And so we are actually, the servicing will look like it's us, but it kind of is. So we have a servicing relationship, but I can't say that we service the loans. But we don't go sell it to 10 people. So I don't even know what it's called. But it's a way for us to keep control of clients' data, names, that type of thing. But we don't actually own the servicing portfolio.
But you're still the Benny, though. You're still funding and.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, but I'm
yeah.
saying that you're the Benny of the loan. You're keeping the loan. You're not packaging them off as a.
No, we still well. So not to get crazy complicated. So when we do a loan, it's bifurcated, right? So there's an immediate premium on immediate return, the rate part, and then there's a return on the servicing part, and there's two different pieces. So the loan is basically bifurcated. So Fannie or Freddie is going to get the majority of our deals, and we're going to sell those, and that's that release premium that's there, and we're going to get that money right away. The servicing piece of it is going to remain with a group that we help control. Yes, but everybody sells their loans. And then they're packaged into mortgage-backed securities, but it's not like servicing being sold. That's what people do that letter. Today you're with Bank of America, and now make your payment here. You know, that kind of stuff. Yeah, and it's a little funkier, and I'll say this because of it makes a big difference here. The jumbo market's very different. So, you know, not that a lot of these things won't work with jumbo, but like the servicing on jumbo, how jumbo is sold, a lot of that is direct investor type of business that's being done. And you know, we're a huge jumbo lender. we did, I don't know, 4 billion in California alone last year or something like that. So, a big number, but it's just done differently. So I just don't want to confuse things. When it comes to jumbo, it's just different. Yeah. What else?
Then I have a bunch of questions, but I don't think you have to talk for a while. So maybe we'll be after this.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we can hang out. I mean, and anybody.
Does anybody on Zoom have a question so far? Doesn't sound like it. Okay, we're good.
You guys are great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I am just so thrilled to actually be back in front of people.
Oh, I know.
It's the coolest thing. It's been awful, especially with my personality being stuck like in front of a computer screen is awful.
I agree 100%.
Yes, yes.
We-
Well, thank you guys. John, Eric, Winston, we're here to help you. And we're really a resource. I mean, one of the greatest things that we can provide you is that advice and support when something's going wrong, even someplace else. So, use us, call us. I will make sure, and I usually put it up on the screen, and I've given my phone number, and if you guys write this down. So my name is
Here, I'll
Harris.
put it on the chat box.
Yeah.
Let me, maybe. I think I can. Oh, here. Chat. Okay, and
So it's-
Harris.
Yep, Harris. My last name is Laskey. And my cell phone number is 678
Oops, 678
629
629
2112.
2112.
And I literally have probably given it to 30,000 realtors. And I maybe get 3 phone calls a month. And I don't mind giving it out because if you guys ever really need something, you call me. And that's how our company works. And that's the other thing. We are all one company now, which is really cool, which means Gina's got to say, we all have to say, now you can go to Gina and she can pick up the phone and call me and go, Harris, we got a problem, whatever. I mean, if something came up, anything that we can do to help, please do so. Same with calling John, Eric, or Winston. If Tim Wilson, our CEO, was here, he'd give you his cell phone number as well. I mean, we're here to help. We're all one company, and we all benefit when we all do well. So, great.
That's awesome. And guys, if you ever have a transaction, because I've done this a couple times and it really does help. You have a transaction that you have a buyer that's having challenges closing for any reason, get a backup. Just say, you know what, we're gonna use a backup on, with Prosperity Mortgage here. Have them run through it. It's amazing the couple times that we've done this, even in the last couple of weeks, how that other lender just started jumping through hoops to make that deal happen.
Hey,
It puts a fire under them and they get it done. And if they don't get it done, then we have somebody that can close it. So, whether we're on the listing or buying side, I hope you realize how awesome this is to have this kind of support.
can I have 2 minutes?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, real quick. Sorry.
No. You've got 7.
Oh gosh, this is great. I might even throw another joke in there. So you guys know what AMCs are? So the appraisal management companies. So most lenders use AMCs. They basically use a third-party company, and so when they order an appraisal, it goes into a round robin, and then they choose an appraiser, and that appraiser comes out and does it. And they usually do a great job, and everything works out fine, and all that type of thing. Well, we made a decision. It's cost us several $1 million to put it together, but to not use an AMC and to do it and bring it in-house. And so we essentially have, you'd call it our own AMC. We just don't really run it that way. We can't get away around the rules. It's still round robin, but we get to pick and choose the specific appraisers on our team. And the most important thing is the third party doesn't make any money. So if we collect $750 for an appraisal, whatever, I don't know what it is for market, I'm just throwing a number out, so don't banish me for that. But if we collect $750, the full $750 goes to the appraiser. It allows us to get the very best people, and it allows people, for us to get people that are local, et cetera, which, it's obviously changes very quickly. So we're putting those things together right now. If there's anybody you'd like us to talk to, send their name to John Eric. We treat people very well. They love working directly with us. And it's the greatest advantage that you guys have because we can control it. We end up being probably the best paying group out there because I don't know if you guys are aware, but these third-party AMCs will generally take a couple $100 of that payment that should be going to the appraiser, and they keep it for themselves before the money goes out. So the fact that we deliver a full premium to the appraiser is something that they all love, which is really cool for us. And John Eric's already had some experience with our group. It allows like Jennifer Hallman, who runs the group, to pick up the phone and call somebody and say, I need something like tomorrow, and they'll go out and do it. Allows us to have a lot more control. So that's a huge advantage that we have. We'd love your help. If there's somebody that you really like, whatever, you don't have to, tell us now, but send John Eric a note. I know he's got some cards here too, and I'll make sure you've got his information with, who that may be. And we'll contact them and see if they'd like to join our group. They can still do business for other people. So it's not like it's a permanent type of thing, but it's a big advantage that we have.
That's nice.
It's worth it.
Mm.
So it's worth the investment we put into it.
So an appraisal that's being completed within our area, how far do they actually go?
To go find somebody.
Well, I mean, yeah, what's the perimeter?
So when we sign somebody up, they basically give us kind of a bio of where they live, the business that they do, all the pieces that are there, and we can find it. It's a hard thing for me to answer because it depends on the market.
Yeah.
It may be like 5 miles here, because it may, some areas it may be 30. I don't,
We don't want somebody from the LA market.
Of course. No, I mean, and I specifically, I think this is one of those markets where you really need somebody that local. It doesn't mean that there are probably some great appraisers that can do everything from Palm Springs to, and can do everything and understand the difference. And then others that really should just be in Indian Wells, right? And so it's our job to figure out those pieces, obviously with your feedback. The other really cool thing is when we do have a bad experience, for whatever reason, it also makes it easy for us to order another appraisal if we have to get modifications done if possible. And one of the things that's different about us that might kind of freak you out a little bit at first, but if we happen to have a cut appraisal, so you know what cut appraisals are. It's like when you have a contract and the contract's for $750 and the appraisal comes in at $735. And so it's less. We will literally get on the phone with you, with our chief appraiser, with his number 2, with John Eric, and we will talk to you about it, get your advice, whatever. We'll take care of the details, but we don't just say, well, it's a good appraisal. We know that you guys are the experts in this market. We will get, the appropriate information, and then we'll go back to the appraiser and ask for an update. If that's something that doesn't work and we all agree that the appraisal does not meet the needs of the property, we'll go do another one. And we're not going to charge the client if we have to do another one. It doesn't happen often, but it's something that we can do when it happens. Our cut appraisal rate is about half of the industry. And we know that's just because we do a better job because we can pick our appraisers. We still run robin, but we can pick who's on our panel.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
So when there's a challenge like that, sorry, hold on, gotta let these people in a gate. When there's a challenge like that, are you seeing that they're overcome? Like what percentage are overcome, or if you give an idea?
We actually just ran a report the other day. It was like 82% of cut appraisals still closed.
Okay.
It's not always because we get an additional value. Sometimes we find a different way to lend. We find, there's a bunch of ways to do things. And, there are really good appraisals that come in that, it is what the house is worth. And this is what somebody's willing to pay. And they happen to be different numbers. And everybody kind of went in knowing it, right? So that does exist.
Especially in this market.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But even still, even if your contract is 800 and you really think it should appraise at 725, and that 75,000 is within that margin of emotional satisfaction for the client, and it comes in at 7, it's still a problem. You still want to get it up as much as you can, or whatever it may be. So, we'll work directly with you to obviously find the most appropriate solution.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Good questions.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
Where's your office?
Mine?
Where's the office?
It's in my basement in Atlanta.
Actually, Michael, this is Winston. And for those of you who kind of wandered in, Winston wave. Winston is going to be housed in this office physically. So if we need him, he's going to be here Monday through Friday, I believe, right? Yeah, whenever. We'll be sitting open houses with you, do all that good stuff. Do your flyers, the finance flyers, the fun stuff.
We got tons of that stuff too.
Yeah.
But honestly, you're going to want to use Winston or John Eric, whoever in the market, simply because we do a terrific job. It's just, that's what we pride ourselves on. And it's not just closing alone. It's how everybody feels when it's done, and how we've improved your business is what we're really concerned with.
I have
Yeah.
a question. I heard in the Las Vegas market that you guys were running some type of program where you were offering some closing cost help to like first-time buyers or something along those lines. Is that like a standard program or?
We do lots of stuff, and it depends on the market. So some of those things we bond programs, some things that you're really not going to have a whole lot of here that, match up with down payment assistance and other things that are there. We're probably 45 days out or so when Winston's license comes in and all the pieces come together. We'll run a little program for a while. We'll pay for the appraisal. We'll do some things to help, kind of move some business along quickly, based on, kind of what your needs are. And John Eric will be around. He'll talk. I mean, we want to figure out, one of the mistakes that too many people make, and I'm certainly in that category, is we make assumptions about what's important to you. It's better just to come out and talk to you about it and figure out what's going on in the market, what really would help, how can we help move things along. I mean, that's how we got the buyer's advantage with the closing, guarantee. I mean, agents were like, hey, I just need something that's going to make my buyer more attractive to a seller. And that seller guarantee has made a big difference on top of the buyer advantage. It's like, you're already approved, but heck, if something happens, $10,000 and it's something.
It's something. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Cool.
Very helpful. Thank you.
Good.
Thank you.
All right.
right.
Thanks, guys.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it. Or, wear it into the restroom or
Yeah.
something. We've had.
There's a ton of stuff, and we've got things coming. There's actually stuff in the back office. We dropped off a couple little flyers if you guys want to grab something. One of them happens to be in Spanish as well, if anybody is interested in that. And we have tons of stuff. So we have a little bit of an issue with when his license goes active, we can really then bring everything in. But without a license, it's a little funky. So, but I promise you'll have all kinds of great stuff to help you out.
But in the meantime, if something comes up today, we can reach right out to John Eric, who's on standby waiting to help you right now. So don't think twice. I'm super excited about it. Thank you, gentlemen, all for being here.
If you guys want to pass those around just to make sure everybody's at least got one.
I know Winston's biting at the bit saying, I want my cards. Get in. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Okay, and I'd also like to give a quick little welcome to Peggy Long. Peggy, welcome. Peggy just joined us over here from another brokerage, and so we are yesterday. So we're very happy to have her here. Okay, let's move on here, and let me move this out of the way. There we go. Okay, congratulations. Gosh, there's a lot going on. And listing agents for the month of March, our goal is 44 listings. We're currently about halfway there, and so we still have time to hit the mark. But congratulations, Michael Burnell, Ann Stark, Gloria, Kagan and Farrell, Lourdes, Bill Beasley, Meredith Betancourt, Alonso, Gloria, Maria Molina, Ann Stark, Donna Ambrose, Meredith again, Gary, Wasserman Group, Lynn Griebel, Ann Stark, George, whoop, whoop, George Lopez team, Lupi and Doris. We have Kagan and Farrell, Julia, Dee, Kana, and Eric. So congratulations to all of you. I know these are priceless in the market. And so I think probably on the next slide, we'll see a lot of these already in escrow, which is why they're so important to get. So, we just need to make things happen, and don't expect, people to just call you and say, hey, I want to list my house. That is going to happen, but you really have to make it happen. This is, you guys, this is the craziest market. But if your whole focus is, what am I doing today to get a listing? You will get the listings that you need, but you really have to maintain the focus there and work. You have to work in this market. Moving to the sales side of the board again, I just want to congratulate, let's move that out of the way, Kagan and Farrell, Christine Hernandez, Ann Stark, Diane Yakel, Meredith, Magdalena, Brian Beard, Stephanie Taylor, Kagan and Farrell, Jean Reniker, Christine again, Gary, Gloria, Michael Burnell, Brian Beard, Meredith, Eileen, woot, woot, Michael Charles, Bill Beasley, Donna Ambrose, Magdalena. Look at you go, girl. It's awesome. George Lopez team again, Maria Molino, Kagan Farrell, George Lopez team, SB, Marks, Real Estate Group, Michael Charles, Donna Ambrose, Alonso, and Eric again. So congratulations to all. Our goal is 45. We're sitting at 32. So again, we still have time to crank them out and hit our mark. So congratulations to all of you. Okay. Couple things that we're going to talk about, and we will be done on time. But one of the main things that we're getting bombarded with, of course, is phishing and spam texts and issues and I mean it's so out of control. And if you haven't noticed a difference, and Berkshire Hathaway National is all about security. You can imagine the number of hackers that would just love to hack into Berkshire Hathaway, right? So the level of security on our emails and our platforms is super high, super high. So it can be frustrating at times from our end because we're thinking, oh, I just want to get into this email and do my thing. But on the flip side, guys, your computer's not getting crashed because of something being downloaded in a phishing email. So I just want you to know the phishing emails, what is it? It's a process in which bad guys try to trick you into giving out sensitive information or taking potentially dangerous action like clicking on a link. You'll see them come in. 80% of phishing emails right now are blocked by Berkshire Hathaway with their filters and other security measures, but that leaves 20% still able to come through your computers. So spear phishing, I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's, for example, if you get an email from somebody that says new California real estate law, for example, click here. You guys don't click. Yeah, don't click. Please. So some basic rules to go by. Be very suspicious of urgent demands and frightening language. Oh my gosh, this is the IRS. You are going to jail if you don't pay us right now with your credit card, right? That's not going to happen. The IRS will not call you. Verify the sender. They are tricky. It'll say, for example, it's coming from Gina Teglin, but the email address will not be one of my email addresses, right? Or what is really, they do is they'll say at berkshirehathaway.com, and they'll, you know how Hathaway has an A between half and way? They won't have the A in there. So when you're looking at it, our eyeballs will catch, oh, it's Berkshire Hathaway, and we'll click on it. You really have to play heads up. These guys are getting smart. So they'll just take out one letter and make it look like it. And if you're not paying attention, you'll miss it. If it's not work related, delete it. And just as a note, an everyday note, you should not receive personal emails to your business email ever. It's a good way to keep things separated. Watch for generic wording or responses that do not answer your question. So if you reply back, you know, and they give you just a generic answer, you know, be suspicious, and don't allow anyone access to your computer email because somebody else might accidentally click on something. Other helpful tips: do not mark suspicious emails as junk or spam. Just delete them. If you're marking them, I think they stay in your system somehow. So just delete them and get them out. Don't set up rules to move them into certain folders. Again, you save this phishing email now on your computer, so make sure you just delete it. Please don't forward them to me. I know, Gina, do you think this is spam? Maybe, yes. But the answer is don't forward it to anyone outside of our IT department. Our IT department's fully set up to take care of all these and do what they need to do. So if you get a suspicious email, even if you think it's suspicious, you can email it to support@bhhsnv.com. So just remember, if you're forwarding it to anyone else, you're putting that person at risk. So just send it to our IT department. They'll respond saying, no, this is a legit email, or they'll say, yeah, no, this is, thank you for forwarding it. Make sure you delete it. If you have your email on your phone and something comes in that might be suspicious, just, you know, wait until you have access to a computer before, because that way, like I said, they're really sneaky on how they're making the email addresses. So it's sometimes hard to read on a phone. So if you're not certain, make sure you wait till you get to a computer. Use your Gmail app on the phone on your mobile device, not the general email application. I think Apple has just a general email app that you can move all your emails into. It does not have the same level of security as your Gmail app. So if download the Gmail app on your phone. If you need help with that, I'm happy to help you and set it up. Or, of course, our IT department can help you with that as well. But that would be better. Keep your personal and work emails separate. And then be careful of other application permissions you're giving. Some applications always request permission to do something. And just be really careful, because if you accept certain things, it might you might be giving them permission to automatically download attachments. And that's not what you want. So just wanted you to be play heads up on that. Let me make sure that I don't have any questions. Hover over links before clicking. Go direct. Yes, that's great advice, Lance. Thank you so much. So if you're not sure, if you hover over a link in an email, it will give you the actual email address that it's going to. But, let's say you're getting something from what perceives to be an email from Legendary Escrow, but then you hover over, you might see it's really another link. So you need to just play heads up on that. That's good advice. Or just go right to the Legendary site and pull the information you need directly, not through an email. Okay.
The other thing, Gina,
Uh-huh.
is if you do get a call, don't ever say yes. So if they say, am I speaking to Gina Teglin? Don't say yes. Say you are, or something else, because what they're doing is they're recording your voice saying yes, and then they will sign you up or charge you for something. Yeah.
If they're trying to prompt you to say yes,
Yeah.
and they capture,
Those rascals.
yes, yeah.
So don't say yes.
Okay, good advice. Hopefully, did you all hear that on the screen? Eileen was saying, if you get a phone call, because there's a whole nother section of phone calls and how to handle them, but that is super good advice. If somebody asks, is this Gina Teglin, don't say yes, because that's what they're trying to do, is capture it. So thank you. Craziness. But
One of the other things I discovered was, I got a call from a local number. I missed the call. I called them back. Call me. They funnel it through a local number, so it looks like it's coming through somebody.
speaking of scam likely.
Sitting there waiting for you.
Yeah, it's hearing me. She's ready for a call. One thing to be aware of, you'll never get an email from home services. You just won't. So you'll get emails from these, and I'll show you different things, but home services is not going to send you an email, but the hackers, they might use it to think, oh, I'm part of home services, I should open that. So be careful about that. Suspected emails, send them to support@BHHSNV. All IT related emails will come from support@bhhsnv.com. So if you get anything else, it's suspicious. Any HR related come from Celeste. So it'll be Celeste M@BHHSNV. Any company announcements that you'll get will come from Gordon, and his email is gordonm@bhhsnv.com. So just as long as you know that'll be good. And then again, homeservices.com, or we're under, and I don't ask me why, because I don't know why, but we're also under Berkshire Hathaway Energy.com. Again, I don't know. I just followed the rules. I know. But because I know it throws me, because they send me, I have to do all these tests every month. Every month I have to do these trainings and take these tests and it's crazy. And starting in April, they're going to send me 2 fake phishing emails a month. And so I could get better and better practice looking for things. So now, not only am I like already stressed about the industry, right? I'm like, okay, is this phishing? I don't know. Oh my gosh. I know. So yeah, I have to send them to our support at, Berkshire Hathaway for that. Otherwise it'll be marked, Gina failed. Gina failed the test. So yeah, please don't start sending them to me. I'll be twitching coming in over these emails. Anyway, but just heads up, the spelling's usually wrong, but really you'll never receive an email from Home Services or Berkshire Hathaway Energy. Agents, if you get an email from an agent that looks suspicious, verify the name of the sender and the spelling of the email address, because it might only be a letter off. And when you get it, chances are they're sending them to everybody. So don't email them, but if you see a coworker or another agent, say, hey, heads up, I just saw a phishing email. If you get one, just be careful with it or send it. Don't forget to report it. So let's communicate, stay open, and then that way we can keep everybody safe and secure. And thank you for those of you. Hi, Ryan. How are you? Don't mind me. Go have a bagel, relax. It's good. His internet was down. So anyway, my texts, guys, if it doesn't come from my cell phone number, it is not me. And you all have my cell phone number. If you don't, program it into your phone. But this has happened a couple times, and I will never in a million years ask you to go buy cards for me, gift cards. It's just not going to happen. Mark Stark is not going to text you and say, hey, can you go get me an Apple gift card? It's just not going to happen. So I know, right? So anyway, yeah, we have our hands full.
You're not tied up in a meeting?
I'm not, yeah, that might be true. That might be true. But no, I'm never, ever. And seriously, if I'm stranded on the side of the road and I need help, I will call you. You will hear my voice and say, actually, I would not call AAA and say, come rescue me. And then I'll call Imelda and Marie and say, I'm going to be late. But no, don't ever think that. Okay, quick other topic is, and I've gotten some questions on this, is what do I do when I get a listing besides sell it? Now, here's the thing, and I don't know if you're feeling it yet, but I'm really starting to feel it, is there's a shift in the buyer's mindset, what they're doing, what they're thinking, how they're proceeding, right? Things are starting to stay on the market in certain areas longer than normal. And when I say normal, that's just 15 minutes. It was crazy in a couple of years ago, before COVID, pre-COVID, if something was on the market for 90 days, that was normal and nobody was panicking. They're just, we'll find the right buyer. Don't worry. We'll just keep doing what we're doing. We're holding open houses and we're doing what we need to do to sell it. Today, if it's not sold in a week, sellers are flipping out thinking, what are you doing? You're not doing your job. Why is my house not selling for 100,000 over market, right? And they're serious. They're not even kidding. So it's really, as we shift and as things start slowing, and I don't know, it's crazy times right now. You have got to be on top of your game. And I can't say that with any more passion. You have to be on top of your game. Do not skip steps, because when they're looking at you and they're calling me, and I got to tell you always, and I don't know why, clients call on Saturday or Sundays and just want to scream at me because they're, an agent hasn't sold their home and it's only been on the market a week. So when it hits the MLS, okay, well, let's start with before it hits the MLS, what should you be doing? When you get a listing agreement signed, everything starts with the VAC. First of all, go into buy side, okay? Get it into your new listing, into the add listing section of buy side. You are allowed, even if it's an SELM, you're allowed to share it with other Berkshire clients. Pre-market listings in the VAC, click and then add it there for more exposure. You're going to get your professional photographs and you're going to create your timeline for, when, depending on when it's going to hit the market, what are you going to do to get that house ready to bring open to the world when it hits the MLS. So there's some steps that you should be doing every time you get a listing. When it hits the MLS, this is super important. And I don't think the majority of us are doing this, and I want that to change. So AdWorks, when a listing goes on the MLS, within 24 hours, you will receive an email from AdWorks. If you do not, you need to say, hey, I did not get my AdWorks email. If you paid for something, you would look to see if it was done, right? You guys, Mark is paying for this. So I really, and that's number one, but number two, the numbers that you will see coming from the AdWorks ads that your clients will see will help you tremendously. So for example, you're going to get an AdWorks email, and it's going to say, you know, your AdWorks ad has been created. Click here to enter your client's email information, because you want your client to receive a copy every single day of the updated numbers. And so you put in your client's email address, and the client is going to get an email from AdWorks saying, this is the ad that's running. When they click on that, it now drops into their cookies on their computer. So when they're on Amazon, when they're online doing whatever, on the Wall Street Journal, on whatever news sites that they're looking at, they are seeing your ad on the, you know, on under the sponsored ads portions. But more importantly, here's why, and oh my gosh, all these numbers just work together. They're going to get an email every day saying 600 people have looked at your property. 1,100 people have looked at your property. 3 people have clicked to open or whatever. So they're going to give you these numbers, right? Now you do the seller report. And I'm going to show you, I'm going to go into the VAC and show you, it's super easy to set it up. It's a single click, really. You're going to create the seller report. The seller report is only numbers of how many people are looking at that listing. Because as you know, when you get a listing and you put it on the MLS, Berkshire Hathaway creates a single property website for every single one of our properties and creates a ready promo dashboard with all the marketing done for you. You just have to go in and play with it. So you want to do the seller report, because it's going to say, and that goes out once a week. The AdWorks is every day for 7 days. So the once a week, they're going to get a seller report, and they're going to say, 2,000 people have viewed this home, right? And the people came from Zillow, they came from realtor.com, they came from your website, they came from other sources. It breaks down where all the different places it's coming from. Now, let me ask you, when they see those kind of numbers on these reports and their home hasn't sold in a week, they cannot call and say, well, you took the listing and you're not doing anything. Nobody is seeing my house, right? You have proof. And so that's what's super important. So please don't undermine or underestimate, I should say, AdWorks. Make sure you're getting it. If you can't find it, look in your spam, because a lot of times it'll go into your spam folder. If it's not there, let's contact AdWorks. It may be that the email address you have in the resource center differs from the one you're actually using. So we just want to make sure all the pieces are fitting. So the Ready Promo dashboard,
Does that report go to the seller on a daily basis?
Yes.
For 1 week?
yes,
Okay. So
for
it's not
1
a-
week.
It's not a weekend.
It's
okay.
7 days.
Okay.
Yeah, so 7 days from the time it lists. And so Berkshire, and it really, I mean, it just gives that, it gives you and it gives the seller a good idea of how many people are looking at this property, right? So it doesn't have to continue on. Maybe if it hadn't sold in another month, you might want to throw out another 1 week ad. You'll have to pay for that, but it's, you know, it's not, I forget what it is, 50 bucks, 100 bucks. It'll tell, it has the breakdown of where people are looking. Right. Right. So, you know, and you, like I said, you don't have to keep it every single day after the 7 days, but you know, you're going to reanalyze if your home isn't listed. Are we still getting these views? What's going on? And so we can sit down and talk about that. Magdalena?
What if you never did it and the house has salary in escrow? Is there anything you can do to let your client know, hey, I did something?
No, unfortunately, you can't go back and say, oh, can we pull this up? You know, it should have, you can look again, look in your spam to see if maybe those emails are there. You can create a seller report, but that's different than the AdWorks report. AdWorks report comes directly from AdWorks. So you might be able to contact them directly and say, hey, this report should have ran, were there any numbers on it? So you can see that too. You can contact them directly. But the Ready Promo dashboard, and I'll show you again in a minute how to get back in here. Your postcard, you can go in and order your postcards. Anytime you get a listing, you know, you want to talk about generating more inventory. Anytime there's a listing, you know that within a month, 2 or 3 other listings generally hit the market. So increase your odds of getting a listing. when you put it on the MLS and this is done, send out postcards, just listed postcards. Even if it goes into escrow in a day or two, right? Get those things out. You want people to know you're a working agent getting listings in today's market. And if you're getting listings, you're going to get a lot of calls because people want to know what's hitting the market. You might have other listings if this one's not for them, right? So you're getting to build your pipeline just by sending your just listed postcards. Create a post for social media. And I have to ask you this. Go to your single property website, share your single property website on social media, not from Flex. From Flex, you have no way of tracking what's going on or who's looking at it. With your single property website, it's capturing leads for you. So we're trying to drive more leads to your website. So go in, share the single property website on social media. Do not share the one from Flex.
What's the single property website?
I'll show you in just a second. It's what is created on every one of our listings. And it is only branded to you, and it works right with your CRM. So when people are interacting, they're going right into your CRM, generating leads for you. Okay. You want to create a neighborhood report for your seller. They want with actives, pending, sold, what's coming. You want to make sure, and they're getting it once a week, and they need to know you're just on top of it. Even if they're on top of it, oh, Gina, they're already looking. No. It's not coming from you. It's all perception. They need to understand how hard you're working for them, because they're going to be referring you to people. So you want that. The seller report, and of course, schedule an open house, a minimum of once a week. If it's still on the market, you need to give your seller an update. You want to give them numbers. How many people have seen their property personally? How many are viewing online? What are the feedback from any potential showings? What has people said about that property? And then do a one-line CMA and just highlight on there the price per square foot of what is sold, highlight where theirs is under active. You don't have to say anything else. Here's the updated CMA for the week. They'll see how close they are to the comps. And, this is standard basic practice that we should never do without, unless it's an escrow and it's sold. We're going to be doing this all the time on every single listing. So before we go there, let me go right here real quick. I want to show you in the VAC. So let me log in as an agent real quick. Agent. So if I go into the VAC here, under marketing, oh wait, there it is. Okay. Under marketing, the very top line here is Ready Promo Dashboard. Okay. When you have a listing that goes into the MLS, usually within an hour, this thing is generated. So it's pretty darn quick. All right. Buy side, you'll click on to put your new listing. And then over here under listings, the pre-market listings, that's where you're going to put it before it even hits the MLS. Pardon me, you want to get it out to our peeps as fast as you can. And then under marketing, let's go to Ready Promo Dashboard. And let's just say right here, here's a listing. If you hit the drop down, here's all the things that are created for your listing immediately. So we have your postcards from Express to Lux. You can boost it with HomeSpotter. Here's the post for social media. It creates a property flyer. You can go in and do a neighborhood report, seller report, generate a QR code for any of your marketing, or even for your sign. There's agents that will print a QR code, laminate it, stick it on their sign. And now people drive by, and everybody's used to QR codes now, right? They're going to click on it and your property flyer or single property website will come up. And that's another way to generate leads. You need to be proactive in generating leads for your properties and for you. Visual tour, slideshow. Here's your agent website, and here's view your listing on your single property website. So, but for social media purposes, let's go right here. You're going to click on social media, click on view, and voila. How do I get back up here? There we go. I can just go right from here and share it on Facebook, LinkedIn, or Pinterest, or Twitter. So I'm going to go right here. And I can say whatever I want to say in the single property website. We're really running slow right now. Yeah, and definitely click on your story if you're doing it on Facebook, because stories get so many more views than just your regular feed. But the important thing about it, and
When you do story, it'll actually go on your Instagram, and connect to Instagram too,
yes,
which is huge. Yeah.
yes. Yeah, thank you very much. I don't know why it's not showing here, but when people click on this, see, this is where they all work together. People are going to start clicking on the listing, and it's going to show up in your seller report every week, how many clicks you went, that, you know, how many people went in there. Again, it all works together. So if you're just sharing it from Flex, you have there's no reports that that they're getting on a weekly basis that are showing the numbers. So that's the importance of that. Okay. And then your single property website looks like, leave. Let me get out of here.
Does it do retarget marketing if someone clicks on it? You know,
You pay for it on your through AdWords, maybe.
I know AdWorks does, but I was just wondering if this did.
I'm not sure I can, well, I'll ask Chris.
Gina, how'd you get there? That list. Oh, you go to marketing.
Marketing, and it's ready promo dashboard.
Got it. Got it. Got it.
So let's go down here, and I'm going to show single property website so you can see it. And they can see all the pictures are there, the property description. This is a great section because it's got the map. They can see the demographics, what schools are there and what's nearby. And then they can schedule a showing right here. I mean, it's just a really comprehensive way that works right with your CRM constantly. So let's increase your leads. You know, it just breaks my heart when I keep hearing, well, I'm not getting any leads from it. And you really have to work it. You really have to put all your pieces together. If you're not sure how to do that, let's set up a coaching, either with me, with Imelda, with Maria, with Chris Weeder. We all are ready to help you so that your systems are in place and you're generating leads through a system that, you know, is being paid for you already by Mark Stark. So any questions on that? Oh, seller report. Let me show you the seller report real quick. I wanted the seller report, create a seller report, click on view. And report name, I'm just going to say seller report. I'll use my little neighbor right now because I have a neighbor that I set up for these purposes. And I'm going to hit preview. So you can see what the difference is between a neighborhood report and a seller report. The seller report, like I said, is just numbers. And here it is. Here's the seller report. Here's the weekly website traffic. So you can see right now 988 people have looked at this in March. And where they came from, Zillow, Trulia, others, all websites. So there's no, they know it's going out into these different areas. So that the seller report is super important. Okay. Can you generate a QR code? When I do it, the screen goes blank. Yes, you can. And I don't know why the screen's going blank unless it's an internet hiccup. But let me do this. So if I go here and generate a QR code and view.
So that's another way they're scamming us too.
Yeah.
They're putting up these scamming, phishing QR codes.
Oh,
And I was
oh.
at Living Desert and I saw one and I said, do not ever click on these things or don't ever put that on there. Cause it's like, yeah, they're just randomly placed anywhere. You know, people that just put your phone up to the next and they got it.
Well, I probably wouldn't put my phone up to a random one. I didn't know what I was doing, but you know, at restaurants, you have to. At a lot of restaurants, they're not even doing. Yeah.
All this for the menu, right?
Yeah. Well, what they needed to give you is, I see what you're saying, Maria. I don't know what's going on or why but I've used it many times and it works well. I think we're just having a glitch here. But yeah, they need to give you wireless codes too, access, because in some of the restaurants, it's just spinning. You can't get it. Okay. I've been glitching for about a week. Oh, geez. All right. So you know what? Let's reach out. Let's reach out to Chris Weeder and find out what the problem is. It may be a pop-up on our computer. You know, again, the security levels, have been raised beyond belief. So we just need to bypass that somehow. So it could very well just be a pop-up that we need to fix. Okay, you're very welcome. Any other questions that you have for me on that? Time is it? Oh, shoot, we're over. Okay, so quickly, let's finish up right now. Mason, where are you, Mason? Mason's here every Tuesday and Thursday. If you've not set some time with him, set some time with him. Let him get your marketing and advertising ready to go, so you're rocking and rolling. Maria, do you have an update for us?
No update.
Okay, Imelda.
Just if anybody needs help with the BAC or any help with anything else.
Awesome, thank you so very much. And then today, Mark Stark is back at 1:30 on Facebook. So he's going to be going over some of the national awards. Oh, did I tell you? How could I be losing my voice after an hour? In the entire United States, do you know where the Mark Stark organization ended up? Number 3, baby. That is amazing. Amazing. We had some great award winners, but we had such a huge presence there of award winners at convention. I mean, talk about being proud of the company and being proud of whom we're with. So congratulations. You guys made a huge difference, and I'm so excited for this year to be even better. This week right now is Rick Berube, our company coach, his real estate success series. If you've not been through it, you really should sit through it, because he addresses, scripts, overcoming objections, negotiating skills, all these good things. And to join, you will just go to this Google link. You all should have received an email. If not, let me know. But this is the Google link. You just click on it to join. I'll have it running here this afternoon at 1 o'clock. And so that way, whoever's here is welcome to just check it out and watch. I do have the handouts. He goes through an entire workbook. So that's a really good thing. And if you learn just one little piece, it might just give you what you need to get that listing tomorrow. Okay, on Tuesday, April 5th, mark your calendars. Mayor Linda Evans will be here. Yes. She's going to be our special guest at our office meeting. She's going to talk about everything that's going on in La Quinta, development, what's planning, and guys, we service La Quinta, so we need to be up with that. And then don't forget about your Apex training with Kristen Raumeyer of Zoom Casa and our Apex concierge. We already talked about phishing emails. We already said I will never text you for help. If you want more time, I mean, I'm here for you guys every day. You need me, just walk into my office. But if you want to set aside 15 minutes, 30 minutes to really focus on some stuff, click on my Calendly link, set up a time at your convenience, and I'll put that time aside just for you. Okay, any plugs or wants? Yes, sir.
Gina,
Oh,
it's
hang on.
Ellen.
Oh.
You, going back to the days on market, you were saying if it wasn't gone in 5 minutes or 15 minutes. In January, the Cedar Desert Housing Report said the average day in the Coachella Valley was 27 days.
That's open to close.
That's January, that's right. And then in February, it was 29 days. So it's gone up 2 days. So you're right when you're, on the number of days staying on the market.
It is, and we're going to see that tick up a little bit more too. So,
Yeah.
It's just buyers fatigue. They're tired of writing the multiple offers. They're tired of not getting it accepted. They're tired of everything. They're tired. And we're hearing now, guys, we're hearing a lot of, oh my gosh, I overpaid for my house. And they're having that guilt now of, what did I do? They're worried about the economy. So best practice, and I know we've said it in the past, but I'm going to say it one more time. If you're working with the buyer, you print out the comps, have them sign off on the comp so that they can never come back and say, well, Eileen never told me what it was worth, right? We know you would never do that. She's misdetailed, but no, that's best practice. Have them just sign. Here's where it is. You can come in wherever you choose to come in, but I want you to see where the comps are. That way that you're being fully honest with them. And then of course, the market condition advisory is a great backup for that too. So thank you, Ellen. Jim.
Yeah. Okay, so you put something in escrow and you want to focus on the service of your client to make sure that everything's going well and whatnot, and I want to help you unload some of the process on that. you know, and utilize the TC services that me and my wife provide. Just want to bring it up, want more information about TC services and what it costs. I have a flyer on my desk over here. Feel free to pick that up and just give us a call, text or email about it. We'd be happy to help you with that. That way you guys get to focus on the service to your clients and we get to help you. We can focus on making sure that the file is correct.
Awesome.
That's one thing that you-
And Jim is super detailed, and Kristen, they're super detailed. So that really helps. Okay, let me see. Any other questions here? It's a day in MLS, not days on market. They are different things. Yes, that is true. They changed that with the new clear cooperation stuff. It's DIM in our MLS, and that's days in the MLS. Days on market is the time of if you've taken the listing. Okay, any other plugs or wants? Okay, well, let's get some listings in this week. I'm here for you guys. I appreciate you. Congratulations on a great 2021, and let's just knock the roof off this year. So thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Hey, Gina.
Thanks, Gina. Bye-bye.
Gina? Yeah, it's Dee.
Hi, Dee.
Hey, I have a question for you. I just went in to schedule something on your calendar, and it starts with your calendar, and then it says calendar unavailable.
For what day?
It didn't, it went right past the calendar, just like flashed it and then went to a screen that says calendar unavailable.
Let me go check the settings. Normally, it only says that if I'm fully booked, and unless I got fully booked today and I'm just not sure yet. But I'll go in and check my settings, Dee, and I'll text
Okay.
you. All right,
Okay,
thanks.
Thank you. Bye.
All right. Bye, Mickey. Bye, Katie. I see Lynn and Jan and Mary Ann. Christine,
Bye.
Ellen.
You gotta hold your wand up.
I know, huh? My
Oh, the
magnifying glass.
The magic mirror.
That's right.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.